This viewer is a D2 veteran trying out the Borderlands 2 or the Borderlands franchise. Before I get into the premise of the video, let's look at the subclasses. We've got Commando, a turret build, action skill deception, Zero Assassin. What else have we got? I believe the next one is the Siren subclass, or you could sort of say it's the like Warlock style class, I believe. We've got Salvador. He looks like a gun class to me. We've got Necromancer, Summon Death Trap. That looks and sounds interesting. Craig, Psycho, Bus Axe, Rampage, Action Skill, Aggressive Combat Brawler build. So, I don't know the meta of Borderlands at all. Right, especially for this game, but I'm going to go with Zero because he looks the coolest character out of all of them. My intention is to play them all anyways. But I'm just instinctively, my intuition goes with Zero. I have not looked up what class I should pick or what. I think that's wrong. So I'm just going to go with what I think. And this is the class that I've picked. So to give you the premise of the video and my experience with the Borderlands franchise so far is as follows. In 2019, Borderlands 3 launched and I did play the game. But my memories of the game are sharded. I can't really remember my experience with it. I remember feeling a little weird after it and thinking, is this game good or not? And I was undecided. I know that the story went against Borderlands 3 and it messed up the franchise a little bit. But I have heard stories that the DLC for Borderlands 3 was very good. And there's been updates to the game and the game's now a lot better than what it was at launch. I'm by no means a Borderlands expert, and I don't know, that to be the case or not. But my personal experience was that I went back to Destiny 2 because I was making content. I had some work to do with Destiny 2 at the time. 2019, Destiny 2 was in a good spot. I know Shadowkeep wasn't the best, but it kind of was good as well. There was a massive world game reset in 2019 for Destiny 2, so I had a lot on. I had a lot of work. I didn't have time to play Borderlands 3, right? So I've only briefly played Borderlands 3 up until now. I've recently played through Borderlands 1, the remastered version. I have played that. I figured let's start from the start. Okay, I don't like to do that with movies, games, anything. I always like to start from the first one. I should have. In 2019, that's what I should have done. Should have started from the first one. Anyways, played through the first one. Having played through it and beat the game, I can honestly safely say that the game was revolutionary for its time. It was so atmospheric. It was just a game changer. There was nothing like Borderlands before Borderlands came along. There was nothing like it. It defined the looter-shooter genre. However, Borderlands 1 is dated. It is dated. So I was so excited to pick up 2 and play 2 because I knew that 2 was a more refined game and it was much more improved over 1, right? So Borderlands 1 had atmospheric. It had the gunplay, by the way. The gunplay is fantastic. In Borderlands, the gunplay is fantastic. But what's Borderlands' weakness? Well, story can be the weakness, like Borderlands 3 has showed us, but I don't think that's the true weakness of Borderlands. The true weakness of Borderlands is movement. You cannot slide, you cannot double, triple jump. The movement's not there, right? Now, in Borderlands 4, they have confirmed that there will be double jump and dodges that you can do all the time. So if Borderlands 4, right, brings movement into Borderlands, the franchise, the Borderlands franchise will pick up and be one of the best looter shooters, right? As a looter shooter, Borderlands is better than all other franchises in this genre. It is better than the First Descendant. It is better than Warframe. Yes, it's better than Warframe for loot. Warframe has bad crafting times. Warframe has amazing systems, but the definition of a loot to shoot, right? A shoot to loot, sorry, right, is better in Borderlands. Destiny doesn't do it as good either. Moment-to-moment gameplay of looting and shooting, Borderlands has it, but it doesn't have movement. Warframe has better movement. The First Descendant has movement. Destiny has better movement. But Borderlands gets given the movement. Then it's going to be another contender again this year for the looter-shooter genre, because Let's be real, there's no looter shooters coming out, right? Borderlands 4 is though. The first quarter of this year, it is coming out, so it is heavily rumoured that an April release date will be for Borderlands 4. So what am I doing as a player to prep for that? I'm going to play through all the Borderlands games and learn them to be some sort of an expert at the game if I can be. Right now, I'm a noob. I'm a Borderlands noob. Right? I'm a noob. But I was a Destiny 1 noob at one time as well. Right? And you can gradually build up your intel. You can gradually build up your skills. You can gradually build up your knowledge over time. Right? So I've got a few months to play through the games. Now, I'm going to play this off camera. I might make videos about it. I might not. We'll see. But I need a backup plan where if Destiny 2 hits Demolition Day or Judgment Day. If there's a Judgment Day for Destiny 2, which, to be fair, we're already in that phase right now. We are in a bad state of affairs for Destiny 2. But I need to make sure and ensure me. I need to look after me now, right, to make sure that I have not all my eggs in one basket. And Destiny has been that for me. All my eggs are in one basket. And the problem with me is, when I've made videos about other video games, I've focused on single player style games, and they never work for videos. Borderlands is not a single player focused game. You can solo in it, but it's a looter shooter game, right? With farms, with an active community base that can watch videos and you can extrapolate your own views on things, right? Whereas single player focused games never work for YouTube. Let's play videos don't work for me. Only certain people like Brad and people like that, it works for them, but it doesn't work for me. What works for me is a video game that is open for interpretation. Borderlands is a game that is open for interpretation. And there's metas. There absolutely is, right? It's not live service exactly in the same sense that Warframe is or Destiny 2 is. But there is an active player base that farms in these games. Make no mistake. There is. And if Borderlands 4 fixes Borderlands' issue with movement, then the franchise is back. Right? Now, I can't confirm or deny that, but I'm preparing myself if that is the case by playing through the Borderlands franchise. So, let's think about Borderlands 2 right now and what the gameplay looks like. Graphically, the game holds up now, still. The game looks good. In 2025, Borderlands 2 looks good. Looks surprisingly better than what I would expected. The gunplay feels fluid, intuitive, right? It doesn't feel rigid. The movement maybe does a little bit to me, yes, because I don't have access to a double jump here. Like, it's a single jump, and then there's the crouch. There seems to be no slide, which can be an issue, for me, but I think I've heard stories that Borderlands 2 is a favoured game. It basically initialized the looter shooter genre. Borderlands once kickstarted it off, but Borderlands 2 really made it. That's what I've heard from other people say. I'm no expert on Borderlands, but what I am an expert in is deciphering whether a game has something or not. Right? And if the movement is there for BL4 and it's open world, which people say, oh, they don't want open world. If they do it right, it will work as an open world looter shooter. It will work. If they do it right and make it have meaning. It has to have meaning, right? Which Borderlands games, people have said they're linear. They're not that linear though, are they? The maps are very intuitive. Even on the first one, I found myself creeping off to the left and right to go and loot. Because looting in this game is fantastic. Getting loot from bosses. Like, the moment-to-moment gameplay of Borderlands is so good in terms of getting a weapon drop via an enemy kill. Destiny doesn't have this. Well, it does have it, but for some reason they've limited that. In Destiny 1, enemies would drop purple engrams, right? They would drop them. And even exotic engrams, once we got free of coins, right, they would drop them. Borderlands gives you that much loot that you're constantly shooting, checking your item, shooting, checking your item. And there's good combat. There's definitely good combat in the game. So yeah, that's what I think, especially from playing through the first one. Like how impressed I was with it, for the fact on how old the game was. If we judge it by that, man, it was such a good idea because let me remind you, 2009 there was no Warframe. Warframe was in somebody's idea. It was in the pipeline, right? I don't know the exact year on that, but it was definitely in the pipeline. That came out in 2013, which was from a game called Dark Sector. It was based on Dark Sector, but made as a sci-fi, right? So that come 2013. Destiny 1 wasn't until 2014. Some people think Destiny 1's sort of made looter shooters. No, it didn't. Borderlands 2 did. Borderlands 2 is a favoured game by many people. So here we got our first mini boss, the Knuckle Dragger, or whatever he's called, which he stole the eye of Claptrap. This mission gave me heavy vibes of the Destiny 1 mission from Cosmodrome. I guess the reason why it gave me the vibes of that is because in the Destiny 1 mission on Cosmodrome, the ghost revives your guardian. So you've got an interaction there initially as that mission starts with something, your sidekick, if you like. This game, 2 years prior to that, done that with Claptrap. He is your sidekick, and he is interesting, right, as your sidekick. And you know, there's some comedy elements there, but the interaction between your Vault Hunter and your Claptrap reminds me heavily of the Ghost and the Guardian in Destiny 1. That's just the feeling that I'm getting from it, right? So we've now got a new weapon. I believe we've got, what's that? A sidearm repeater. So what's this? So we've got this new gun. So look at this. What? Last word? Ain't no way you give me last word after 10 minutes gameplay, 15 minutes gameplay, whatever. I have last word already. So what? It's a 4-weapon system in Borderlands. I've only got 2 unlocked at the minute. Looks like I've got last word already, right? And I've got a combat rifle or something. I think that's what my other weapon is. I'm not 100% certain. So yeah, look at that firing animation. Last word already. 8-round mag. Let's see what damage it does. So yeah, we're going through the cinematics now. This is the tutorial mission, but I was impressed with it as a tutorial mission. If somebody could be, then I was. Now, whether it's because I've got a honeymoon period for Borderlands, I don't know that. Because with looter shooters, because of the amount of hours that you can play them, you can't truly judge a looter shooter for its end game until you've got a few hundred hours minimum, even thousands. Now, I've got thousands of hours in Destiny 2. Don't try to be competitive with me neither, because I definitely will have more hours than you in Destiny 2. Most of you, 99% of you, I will have. I don't know my exact number of hours. I'm not going to look it up, but I know that I've got thousands and thousands and thousands. It's probably well over 10k. It's probably over 12. It might be close to 15. I'm over exaggerating. I don't know, but I've got a lot. So I understand that there is honeymoon periods with games. And is that happening to me with the Borderlands? Maybe, but we don't know until I find out, right? And I can do this testing until BL4 comes out. There's months to do this. So here we go. We've got a shotgun. So we've got a shotgun right away. A Jacobs shotgun. I love the stats pop on the right hand side there. I do like the UI. I like the UI for Borderlands 2. I do. I want it a little bigger, but I believe I can adjust that in the settings. But I was enjoying the UI in this. One minor thing for me was that my health UI for Destiny 2 is usually at the top. Now it's at the left. And when you play moment to moment, getting used to that can be something different. Even small things like that. You might think it's a small thing, but you know, moment to moment gameplay does count, and there is things that you get used to on a non-conscious level that you'll just do, especially when you've played a game for thousands of hours. When you go and play another one and all the systems are slightly different, maybe the same but slightly different, it points it out to you. You say, "Oh, I need to adjust myself. I need to think about this a little bit." So you go. Let's see what this last word does. Let's see what the last word damage is. Look at that damage. Such a fun gun. such a fun gun already. So this is literally one of the first guns I've got, and I'm already like, what? I wonder if the class you choose deciphers which gun you get there from that boss. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not a Borderlands expert to know. This is my first time playing through to not know to understand it and stuff. Obviously, I'm on the assassin class 0, which I have no idea what his ultimate is. I have no idea what his neutral gameplay is or anything like that. I'll read that at the end. I do think there's a lot of Destiny vets that are moving to other franchises now. Notably, they are moving to Warframe, but I will be honest, that is part and parcel because of Evan F and Astacross. Astacross and Evan F are getting sponsored by Digital Extremes to promote people to play Warframe, and it's working. Digital Extremes are genius. They're genius for doing that. They probably know that Destiny's in a bad state, and they're like, this is our time to counter-strike. But I will say that with Warframe, there is repetitiveness with Warframe, and you probably are in a honeymoon period with that game too. There is a honeymoon period with it. I have a few hundred hours in Warframe. I don't have 1,000 hours in it, but I have a good few hundred. And I know enough to know that there is some repetitiveness with Warframe, and it's a third-person shooter, not Thirst. What I've come to realize as well, playing all these third-person looter shooters, is that they're not as good as Thirst Person. And the only two Thirst-person shooter looter games that I'm aware of that are good is the Borderlands franchise and the Destiny franchise. And the Destiny franchise is getting all tired at the minute. Borderlands is getting a new game this year, confirmed. Destiny's not getting any new games. It's getting a new DLC, new expansion. That's just an expansion, Shadowkeep size. So I believe that I need to do some background work and do some things to prepare for my channel to be in a Holocaust mode, which it's in that now, right now, basically. I know that my channel might look healthy, and it is right now, but there's no guarantees this year. It's the worst year for gaming, and there's too many good games coming out. GTA 6 will kill. GTA 6 will redefine gaming, basically. And when a game like that comes out, all the other games will start to catch up the next year afterwards. So we're in a weird time, and we're in the middle of the generation of PS5, which that does command on how games are going to be when you get to the middle tier of a generation of a console. It's happened with the Xbox 360, the PS2 era, the PS3 era. When you get to the middle cycle, games improve. The launch games of a console are never as good as the mid-cycle to end cycle. Hope that makes sense. So we're starting to come into a golden age, if you know what I mean, of this generation. I know it's not the golden age of gaming by no means. Maybe it was a few years gone by. You could argue, to and fro for that. But I'm just saying, PC gaming does not dictate this console gaming does. I'm on about where we're heading as an industry. I'm not on about PC gaming as a whole, right? I'm just saying that's what I'm saying. But there are more people playing PC games now more than ever, though. I will say that as well, because you've got shoddy things like the PS5 Pro launch, and in the state that it has with the amount of money that it costs, which not even I'm going to buy. I ain't buying it, because I don't see any justification to do that. So yeah, this is just, as I say, a video saying, look, the Borderlands franchise, it's on offer now, Pandora's box. It's the last day to get it on offer, and you get every single Borderlands game. This will prepare you for BL4 if you're going to be playing BL4. Next up, we'll have a look at our subclass and just have a read through on what its sub-archetypes have. So what we got here for 0, so we've got Deception, its skill, action skill. Press L1 to create a holographic decoy and vanish for a few seconds. The longer you are invisible, the more damage your next attack deals, but ending invisibility sooner results in a shorter Deception cooldown. Next level cooldown 15 seconds, that's quite short. Melee damage up to 650%, gun damage up to 200%. Critical hit damage up to 250%. That's on next level up. So it looks like we've got three archetypes: Sniping, Cunning, and Bloodshed. So it looks like to me that the bloodshed is the melee class, obviously, because it's got melee based stuff going for it. Then cunning looks like a neutral gameplay, more about your weapons, but there is some other things looking to that. Then we've got the sniping tree that looks to be about critical hit damage and sniping. Let's look at what critical ascension does. Scoring a critical hit with a sniper rifle increases your gun damage and critical hit damage with sniper rifles. This effect can stack up to 999 times. Stacks slowly decay if you haven't scored a critical hit in a while. Next level, 6% critical hit damage per stack, 5% sniper rifle damage per stack. Cunning says this. When you use Deception, each kunai will explode with a random elemental type. Kunai do not benefit from the Deception damage bonuses, but throwing kunai does not end Deception and can apply the death mark, whatever that means. May throw 5 kunai per cooldown. So that's a lot of information. Like I say, I've not seen this, I'm just reading it. Killing an enemy with a melee attack while Deception is active causes you to deploy another holographic decoy. Re-stealth and adds time to Deception's duration. This can be done multiple times in succession. So that's the sub-archetypes of Zero. That's just me sort of having a look through it. Game seems very interesting. I'm not saying I'm going to be making loads of Borderlands videos, but this is one I am making. Just saying, look, Pandora's Box is on offer right now, and this is the last day to get it, and you get every single Borderlands game going to prepare you for BL4. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.